Hello there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training company passmyinterview.com, and in this video tutorial I will teach you how to pass a Band 5 NHS interview. So I'm going to give you a whole host of sample interview questions that I strongly recommend you prepare for, and more importantly I'm going to give you some top scoring answers. Now before I do that, a very warm welcome to this tutorial. My name is Richard McMunn. That's me there in the centre. I've been helping people to pass their interviews for about 20 years now, and I always do that by giving you top scoring answers you can't find anywhere else. Please do subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button below the video, and then you won't miss out on any of the training videos that I'm uploading every week. And I would also appreciate your support if you gave the video a like. Thank you very much. That always motivates me to create more content for you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get into those Band 5 NHS nurse interview questions and answers. You can either take notes as I progress through the tutorial, or if you want to watch from beginning to end, I will tell you where you can download my full set of 22 Band 5 nurse interview questions and answers. So the first question of your Band 5 nurse NHS interview is going to be, tell me about yourself and why you want to become a Band 5 nurse within the NHS. So here is my top scoring answer. I am someone who takes great pride in my work as a nurse, and working for the NHS is a great privilege and an honour. There comes a huge amount of responsibility as a nurse within the NHS, and the qualities and skills needed to consistently perform to a high standard are the ones I feel I naturally possess. I am entirely dedicated to the profession and can be relied upon to make the right decisions in the best interests of the patient. I will always take care of my own professional development, so the treatment I provide is in line with the NHS values and the Code of Conduct, and I can also be relied upon to maintain confidentiality at all times necessary. I am also a great team worker. I will remain calm and composed under pressure, and I have a personal life that enables me to be flexible in my role as a nurse and work additional shifts as and when needed to help out the NHS team. So that is a rock solid answer that demonstrates to the interview panel you fully understand the level of responsibility that comes with being a nurse within the NHS, and you are also giving a number of important qualities and traits that will enable you to be competent in the role, such as abiding by the NHS values, any code of conduct that's relevant to your role, maintaining confidentiality, and also taking responsibility for your own professional development. And the last, final statement you are mentioning that you are able to work additional shifts, which is very important within the NHS. Okay, second question of your Band 5 nurse interview. Why do you want to work in the NHS for our trust? So why do you want to work in the NHS? Here is my suggested answer. This is a good question, and one that I have considered carefully prior to applying for the role. During my research, I studied the NHS Trust in detail, and I especially paid attention to the values you expect your staff to abide by, and also the mission in which you are all striving to achieve. Now, as a professional nurse, I am someone who takes great pride in my work, and the values of integrity, commitment to quality of care, continual learning, compassion and improving lives are also at the core of everything I do. I don't want to be a nurse for just any organisation. I want to be a nurse for an organisation that cares about people, that wants to continually learn and improve, and has an entirely inclusive way of operating. The values and ambitions your trust operates by are very closely aligned to my own, which is the main reason why I want to be a nurse for this NHS Trust organisation. So again, that's a very intelligent and smart answer because it is focused on the core NHS values, which are very, very important, not just to Band 5 nurses, but to everybody who works in the NHS. They are very, very important. You should, I suggest, study them and learn them as well during your preparation for this interview. Question number 3. What do you expect to be doing on a day-to-day basis as a Band 5 nurse for the NHS? So if I was to say to you, what do you do as a nurse on a day-to-day basis, you would be able to tell me very quickly. But the key part here is telling them what you would do on a day-to-day basis as a Band 5 nurse. So you need to study the job description and the person's specification to make sure that you are fully aware of your main duties. So I've put together a response for you based on a Band 5 nurse. Here we go. I expect the role to be diverse in nature and be centred on clinical responsibilities, professional responsibilities, and also training and education. Now, from a clinical perspective, I will need to carry out a wide range of registered nurse duties with a view to providing exceptional levels of care and assessment. I will need to maintain a safe environment, monitor the care and advice provided by nursing staff, create accurate and regular contemporaneous notes, and also build solid relationships with all NHS departments so we can all achieve the mission of the Trust and its objectives. Now, from a professional perspective, I'll be required to adhere to all guidelines, rules, and the code of conduct defined by this NHS Trust. I will also assist in the development and updating of professional nursing practice and procedures, help with national initiatives, and also manage my own professional development and competence. Finally, from an education and training perspective, I will need to attend all appropriate training programs, maintain competency levels by completing key learning outcomes from the foundation program, assist with cascade training, and also help to induct new members of the nursing team to ensure the highest standards of competence and professionalism are maintained at all times. Now, that is an in-depth response, and it has to be, in my opinion, when you're explaining what you will have to do on a day-to-day basis as a Band 5 nurse, because I have divided that up into three different areas. First of all, there is the clinical responsibilities as a nurse, the professional responsibilities, and then the training and education. But as I say, make sure you do study the job description for your particular role. So when I get to the point where I say you can download these, make sure you do and then highlight all of those key areas and remember to mention them during your answer to that question. So whilst on that, if you do want to download my full set of 22 Band 5 NHS nurse interview questions and top scoring answers, there's a link that's appeared in the top right hand corner of that video. When you're ready, if you click that, it will take you through to my website. I've still got a couple of questions to go through, so don't do it just yet. But when you are ready, you can click that and it will take you through to my site. Next question. As a Band 5 nurse, you will be expected to abide by the NHS core values. What are these and what do they mean? So there is pretty much guaranteed to be an interview question that's focused on the NHS values, the core values. So this assesses whether you understand them, but more importantly, how do they interact with your role as a nurse? Here we go. There are 6 core values we all need to abide by within the NHS. These are respect and dignity, commitment to the quality of care, compassion, improving lives, working together for patients, and also everyone counts. Respect and dignity as a nurse involves treating people as individuals and gaining an understanding of their specific needs, priorities, and limitations. A commitment to quality of care is exactly that, getting the basics right in respect of the treatment we provide, ensuring patients are safe, maintaining confidentiality, and being accountable for our actions. Compassion is about humanity and kindness, something that is absolutely fundamental to being a competent nurse. Improving lives as a nurse is about ensuring we make people's lives better through clinical practice, continuous improvement, and also innovation. And working together for patients is simply working collaboratively with other members of the NHS and always remembering to put the needs of the patient first. Finally, everyone counts means using the resource we have available within the NHS to the benefit of the entire community. We should never exclude anyone, and we have to accept that some people will need more help, assistance, care, or advice. That demonstrates you know what the values are, and you are also going on to explain how important they are and what they mean to you as a nurse. Next question of your Band 5 nurse interview. As a Band 5 nurse within the NHS, safeguarding is absolutely crucial to your work. What is safeguarding and how would you ensure it is implemented in your day-to-day activities? Here's my suggested answer. The term safeguarding is one that is always at the forefront of my mind when carrying out my duties as a professional nurse. The term safeguarding means we do all we can to protect people's health, their human rights, and their well-being, whilst also empowering them to live their lives free from harm, abuse, or neglect. As a Band 5 nurse, it will be my responsibility to look for signs that a patient, a visitor, or someone whom is in our care is vulnerable or affected in any of the ways I've just mentioned. I would also be down to me to make sure all staff whom I'm responsible for treat safeguarding as one of their main priorities, and to also raise any issues in respect of working practices during staff meetings. In fact, the NHS has implemented a safeguarding team to ensure all staff have the necessary training, education and awareness needed to be able to perform their duties competently in respect of this very important subject. There is also a safeguarding app available which I always encourage all staff to download and use as part of their daily work. The app supports frontline healthcare staff and citizens to provide relevant guidance and the opportunity to report safeguarding concerns 24 hours a day. We all have a duty within the NHS to make safeguarding a top priority, and I will certainly continue to do that in my role as a Band 5 nurse if I'm successful at the interview today. So again, a very in-depth response, but that shows that you understand what safeguarding is. You are aware of two important facts. There is a safeguarding team that's been set up, and there's also an app that you can download, which if you haven't done so, I recommend you take a look at that. Now, don't forget, if you want my 22 Band 5 nurse interview questions and answers, I'll show you those right now. And if you click that link in the top right-hand corner of the video, it'll take you through to this website here. Here's my 22 Band 5 nurse interview questions and answers. So they're all on that page, the ones that I recommend you study for during your preparation. And then if you want to get them, it will take you down to that page where you can get access to all of them. So I recommend you do that. I hope you've enjoyed that. Please don't forget to subscribe. And as I say, I'd appreciate your support if you liked the video. And thank you very much. I love teaching you. And I wish you all the best in your pursuit to passing your Band 5 NHS interview. Thank you for watching and have a brilliant day.